White Miracles. We've seen the blue-white-red Miracles deck. This one, I think, is largely the same idea. It doesn't have Pillar of Flames. Instead, it's playing Thought Scours, so it's just going a little... It has 4 Temporal Masters, so it has more Miracles. It's actually very similar to the deck that Alexander Hayne used to win the Block Pro Tour, with only slight changes to it.
Worth noting is that it appears if Robert Knecht loses his Entreat the Angels to something like a Slaughter Games, his only way to win is Tameo the Moonsage and Thought Scour, if I am reading correctly.
Just so we have 2 lands out of from Robert, no plays. First play of the game is a Thalia on turn 2 for Justin.
Justin Haas on green-white aggro. Looks like a relatively conventional, if highly aggressive list. He's running Dryad Militants. He has Silverblade Paladins, Sublime Archangels, some Restoration Angels, and he has Rancor plus Selesnya Charm.
This deck really is 3 Jaces away from being the block deck. I guess I put in 4 Azorius Charms. Swing for 2 by Thalia, drops Robert down to 18. Nonetheless, I think that this matchup is in Robert's favor.
I agree.
Sweepers are very hard for green-white to deal with.
He didn't really compact with anything in his sideboard. His sideboard appears to be mostly against zombies and other creature decks. He's going to be leaning pretty hard on something like Thalia, and I guess Restoration Angel Rancor is like a post-sweeper threat.
So Smiter comes down for Haas. This is one of the more interesting parts of the game for what strategy Haas wants to pursue. He may not want to commit anything more, because he has to assume his opponent has a sweeper. But at the same time, Robert can't sweep this turn, because any sweeper he might have, like a Supreme Verdict, will cost 5. These players both are at X1, they're at the top of the X1s. Since we're so close to the cap, top and bottom of X1 probably doesn't have much merit. I imagine every X1 is going to be battling.
Sure. If I'm Justin, I think that if I have a Restoration Angel, I'm obviously just going to hold these and plan to play that after a Wrath. If I don't have a Restoration Angel, it's entirely possible I can't win even if my opponent has a Wrath. If he goes something like Supreme Verdict into Tameo, it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
So in that event, risking the Wrath and just jamming as many creatures onto the board as you can is not that bad.
And he doesn't have the 4th land
Without
either.
the 4th land, he's in big trouble. If I don't have the 4th land, I feel like I probably just want to play
Then I wouldn't
creature.
play Restoration Angel.
Yeah. In this situation, I might commit like a 2nd Smiter, because I'm going to have cards at the end of the game in my hand anyway, probably, considering I'm mana screwed.
Right.
So conserving a threat is not that
doesn't
bad.
particularly matter. Robert...
Looks like he's Wolf Charm.
He's making a Knight.
Or Knight, yeah, sorry.
Knight Charm. And this is actually, he's going to be able to get Robert Knecht down to 4 life this next turn. So Knecht has only played lands this game, has 5 of them. We thought he has a Terminus.
Yeah, it looks like he has a Feeling of Dread in his hand. And I believe I see a Feeling of Dread and a Thought Scour, so he's probably going to be playing both of those. Not in that order, however.
Right, in case a miracle happens.
Yep, he'll lead with the Thought Scour, hoping to hit a Terminus, and if he doesn't, then he'll just Feeling of Dread to tap down the Loxodon Smiter and one of the 2 power guys.
Right, he just has to survive until 7 mana. He does have a Terminus in hand.
Yep. What's Justin got
Second
here?
Thalia. No, don't do that.
A Rancor. Oh, we know which of the creatures we're going to tap now.
Yeah. Well, no real way for
we should
Justin
be
to
Thought
play
Scouring
around.
in response to the Rancor in order to hit the thing if we have a Thought Scour. Right?
He's just Feeling of Dreading.
Just Feeling of Dreading, okay.
Well, hopefully he doesn't make a fool of him. Does he have a Thought Scour, are we sure?
I thought I saw one. I could be wrong. It is a little shady over
Knecht
there.
goes down to 10.
No, I
10.
assume he doesn't.
Probably doesn't have one.
Well, it was a good class anyway.
Yeah, Knecht has to feel pretty good about this game. His life total is probably a little lower than he wants it to be, but
yep.
all is well nonetheless, I think. Alright, Haas, accumulating a lot of cards in his hand. He's going to drop a 2nd Rancor, this one on the Thalia. He's going to push 2 extra damage. Drop Knecht to 6.
And he's going to offer to enter combat. I have a feeling Robert's got a reply.
It might even be in his graveyard. Okay, it's
I think twice first.
Is it a miracle? Is it a miracle? Is it a Terminus?
This is a...
If it's an Entreat,
I have a feeling it might be a Temporal Mastery, and he's kind of like, ugh.
Can't do it. Can't do it, Robert. You have to put the temporal mastery back. It's okay. You can...
That's just my read on the situation here. I feel like if it's a terminus, we should just be snap flipping it over, right? Like,
it's a mastery. It's sad, but you can always cantrip it later.
what's going on?
You can't cast the temporal mastery. You're dead if you do that.
This is a really confusing delay on this.
You can't entreat.
He is entreating.
You can't entreat here. It costs extra. Does that mean he loses?
No, not if he appeals to a judge. He is legally allowed to declare an entreat for 0. However, he is not obligated to do so.
Okay, if he said entreat for 1,
right,
then
that is a GRB, and the game should be rewound because he cast a spell without paying its mana cost.
But if he just said entreat the angels and didn't say a number next to it,
if he didn't say a number, then I believe it would still be rewound in the vast majority of circumstances. Yes,
okay.
He did not declare 0 either, so there's no explicit argument for either one. Well, now I have no idea what's happening.
And they're making him tap?
He's
dead?
This is a situation where Robert should be appealing this ruling, because that's not a good one.
And he's going to draw a temporal mastery next turn.
Yeah. He would have 100% won that game, but yes, that was... If that was a judge ruling,
I think some of it depends on what he said.
Yes,
when he did it.
I actually don't believe
it matters.
It matters, yeah. If he says entreat or if he says entreat for 1, in either circumstance, he should be rewinding that game state because his intent was clearly to cast entreat for 1, which is not legal to do in that circumstance. So it's just playing a spell without paying its mana cost. If he said entreat for 35, it's the same result. Like
right. Maybe we can get a judge to talk to. Maybe we'll try to get the judge ruling on what exactly happened there.
Is that the judge? Our director has a quote from the floor, but apparently the player may have amended himself into killing himself, which is very awkward. Yeah, guys, if you're ever in a situation where you realize you've done something stupid, you should probably go with the option that doesn't kill you and appeal or ask a judge or